Nijel Amos is a Botswana-born international athlete specializing in the 800-meter race. He became a champion at the 2012 World Junior Championships in athletics, finishing in a new championship record of 143.79. In the 2012 Summer Olympics, Amos won the first and only medal for his country at the age of 18. Got injured in 2013 but returned in 2014. Since then, he has won a couple of medals, including the 2019 Monaco Diamond League meet when he ran a blistering 141.89. Amos is preparing for the Tokyo 2021 Olympic Games. Let's get right into it. Welcome to Shining the Light. My name is S.E. Walibua, and my guest today is one and the only Nijel Amos. How you been, my brother?
Been in one piece, brother. Been happy. Been all right. Can't complain.
I know we talked about this before. Why is Morobala such an important piece in your life that you have to take it to the Olympics?
Definitely, it's an important piece of my life, especially where I was born. I was born in Morobala. It's my hometown. It's where my family is originated. It's where my sisters are buried. So it's the bigger picture of me, you know. Forever a big piece of my life. I grew up from there. It's the most place I've known all of my life so far, you know.
So how has the pandemic affected your trajectory or traction, since the Olympics were moved last year?
It's always been about moving around and figuring out ways to go ahead. You know, it's not such a bad thing because, like I was only athlete injured at home while the show was going on. There was no show for everybody. So we look at it in that way that everybody was injured. We're just going to get healed and find a spot again.
Mm. And you recently posted a picture of your grandmother. This is more like saying, a picture speaks volume.
Mostly, I think this Olympics, I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it for my friends. It's no longer about doing it for the nation. I think I did my part for the nation more, And now it's doing it for my family, people who saw me suffering, going through all these challenges that I went through to be able to be still in the game, when there was no one in the show. So I think this one, I'm doing it for my family mostly than anyone else,
Mm. This question right here that I'm about to ask you, a lot of us been, asking questions in regard to this one. Maybe you can give us your perspective on it. Do you feel like, you got the support you need from your country?
I wouldn't say I feel like I got the support, but if you are a leader, if you are the one breaking chains and bringing something new and just something that people are not familiar to, they would not know how to work around it to react about support it. I'm looking at this point of positive side to say I'm building a bridge for the next coming generation for them to be able to know how they could support them better when they're in position I am into the world and what they could do and what really takes to be in that position, because I don't feel like they really understand the value or the position of where I am in the world and what I've achieved in the world, which is really we at Botswana, we're still developing sports, we're still getting to another level in sports and global and everything. So some such things goes under the radar. No one don't see that and see the value of it in a really clear eye. So I'm just keeping on going and breaking those lines and say, look, maybe for the next generation, for the next guys will be better, but then I have to be the one pioneer it to be better.
So where's the rest of the team right now?
They're in Poland now. They're going for the World Relays.
Did you say they're in Portland?
Poland. They went to Poland for the World Relays.
Oh, are you part of the relay, one of the relays?
At that moment, I haven't really committed myself to the relay because I just want to do my best I could do in my race individually this year. I'm just trying to focus on that, not trying to have too much pieces in the plate. So, and then we see what happens. Definitely, I've always been part of the relay. I've always been helping where I could. I just ran 45, which placed me in second best in Botswana 400. So it's something that I could give them to and help to get to the Olympics. I could help to in the relay. So, but I'll have to do my duty first and finish off my race,
No, that's cool. That's good, man. So what is your view on financing the Olympic team so participants don't have to scramble for funds? And maybe you can talk about the impact of not having funds. I mean, you sort of kind of a little bit talked about it. How does this really affect you guys?
I think we should change the approach of financing the Olympics and everything. The Olympics are not being financed; they're being prepared for. Platforms are being put in place. You don't wait and then 6 months you put $1 million, you put $3 million down, you say you finance it. It's not going to work. It's not going to be an investment because if you look at the Olympics, something that people invest in 8 years ahead, 10 years ahead. That's why we look at athletes to say, no, this athlete been working for this 10 years to get to this medal podium. It's something that needs to be invested. We should look at the Olympics as a long-term investment, not a short-term financing kind of setup. up, So I was hoping I could bend back and say, okay, the next Olympics, not even the next after before that, what do we do? Who do we have in the table? What are we doing for those people to make sure that when time comes, they're really delivering that? This time, this thing of us waiting until 2 months down the line and putting money on the table, it's really not going to help at the end of the day. It's not going to change anything. It's still the same as nothing was put in the table.
So let's go back to you are in Arizona right now, right? So how are people over there treating you?
It's been good. We really doesn't meet so much people, because with the pandemic now we avoid to meet as people as much as you could. The training we only have, it's us only in the session and the track and only certain times. We're trying to just stay in our own little bubble as a club, as a team. It's been great really up here. As I said, my third year coming up here. I'm excited so far. I've got some good blocks of training on under me. So I'm excited. This is our last week here and then we're heading back to sea level. So it's going to keep on the work rolling. So it's kind of the place good to come into and just get the mind and know that it's time for me to go now.
Right. Are you far from Tucson or Phoenix?
I'm close to Phoenix. I
You're
was up
close to Mhm.
2 days ago, so that's why I was racing. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. So how was the race?
That's good. It was just to
Mhm.
get out there and see where
Mhm.
we are in the middle of training. Now it's not time for us to be worried about racing. It was just like, okay, there's a race, there's 400, we have a 400 training session. Instead of going doing training session, let's do it in a race kind of setup and see where we are. And it got a good time for 1269 for opener. It's good for me. It shows that I'm really in a good spot. If I could do that with strength work, no, not yet touch the speed, that means if we could just still have time to just touch there and then get things running and then be ready for Tokyo, which is the main goal of the year.
Right. So do you practice every day? So how's your schedule like? I know you don't want to talk about your regiment, but
Every week is different, but mainly, yes, definitely 6 days a week. I do something. I'm training 6 days a week from Monday to Saturday. Something's happening. My rest days is Friday. So yeah, it's just keep on rolling like that.
yeah. I was reading the other day that a lot of these athletes, they go to places like Ethiopia and Kenya, to those high altitudes. So why do you choose the American high altitudes?
I've been to Kenya and it didn't work out for me. I couldn't really get into my rhythm very well because the place I was, it was too hilly everywhere I was going. And again, I think with flex stuff, choosing flex stuff is a matter of the group. My group is originally based in the USA. It's a Nike group here, so it's easier for us as a training group to just go to the other side of the state and just get the work done. And it's easier for coach to be around everybody too and get things work. And for me, my teammates around the gap to help me, work around with them too. I think that happens and it's working us for the past 3 years. We've been coming here, been getting the results. So I don't think when then we feel like it's really working for us, we're changing it.
And really, it's not just like working hard. You also apply intelligence to it, right? So how do you balance the two so that you don't actually hurt yourself,
Uh,
right? Mhm.
There's knowing that when is the right time to be there and how long, and what's
Mhm.
really works on the body and what doesn't work for you. And it took us a while, me and my coach, to get here to understand. Okay, during this period of time, we need to load you here and then take you down here and do this. So it's also understanding that and knowing the longer term, of course, we really want to go a longer way. We don't want to perform now when that doesn't perform at the Olympics. So it's looking into that. So how can we butt our energy evenly? How can we butt our bread evenly? Take us to the Olympics and that comes with when should you pick it up, what's really needed in the long way of it. Yeah,
Right. So you guys are eating pretty good.
yeah, that's always that's one thing that's really main important in our goal. It's fueling very well. Once you're fueled very well, you can always do anything.
Coming to going living your country and go train somewhere else. It kind of reminds me of what we call the hero's journey, where the hero goes into the wilderness, right, and faces his enemies and brings the bounty back home for the whole community, right?
And it's getting out there and learn how other things have been done and the different cultures and what works for you as different coaches. This is my third coach, and what I really love is that all of my coaches, my first coach, second coach, they're working together with my third coach because every one of them understand me in a better aspect of where some knows me when I was still a little boy, some knows me in middle age. So they're really working together, understanding all that helps me with be able to get through the adversity that I'm going through and be able to take on the challenges, is be able to have all this chain from when I started until now I'm connected.
I always thought, always last time when I think I was talking to somebody else, and I mentioned that, you met, the guy who really sort of kind of changed, your trajectory or your story, because you were not like in track and field. Like he said that, why don't you just try, track and field, right?
Yeah, I was a soccer player, which I still feel like I'm a better soccer player than in track.
So are you gonna try to play soccer later?
Maybe coaching. I already started to get in coaching. I'm involved with coaching in Eugene. I'm coaching some youth over there. So, and they're really doing well. So I see myself maybe getting there and sharing my knowledge in other aspects of the sport that way. But playing maybe no, it will be, time will be gone for me maybe to play in that level I wanted to play. But, I could always pass the baton of knowledge and pass what I thought could be better.
Man, you still young, man. So I think you're gonna run 2 more, 3 more Olympics, maybe.
We'll see. We'll see. We're just taking it a year as it comes, one day as it comes, and see where it's going, and depend on life plans. I think for me, it's the
Mhm.
main part that is coming now. I think it's time for me to go back home and be a dad. I have a daughter. I haven't seen her for the past 5 years. I've always been up and running, and she'd get in a stage of life where really I need to be around, so and influence be around. So I think I'm looking at a point of now taking life on the other side and really be around and build my own family too.
Right, right. No, that's wonderful, man. So how do you make sure that the what happened in 2016 doesn't happen in 2021?
It's all the sport. It's game ball. No, it's all about win and lose. You never know what's gonna happen. You just have to always be better
Mhm.
prepared and getting better and knowing, learning from your mistakes. What happens? So we just been learning from our mistakes and trying to get better every day and trying to work to be better, put in better position for Rio, in better position than we were in Rio, and definitely at the moment I'll say I'm in a better position I was when we were going to Rio, and not only physically, mentally, emotionally, everything I'm working on it. So I think it's a really good place we are now.
You look like you are in good shape, man.
Yeah.
And totally focused. So I remember in 2019, I think you did something like 141.89, and at that during that season, I think you were the best. So for you to win gold, so you have to beat that mark, right?
Nah, I don't have to bet that mark. It's championship. It's not about time. It's 3 rounds. It's not once off race. Once off race, you can run fast. You know that you don't have to come back next day. But Olympics is different. You're running here tomorrow. You're coming back for same final, and then you have another final. So it's 3 rounds. You have to have enough energy, go and bounce back around. So we're not really looking forward to run anything crazy time and anything. We just want to get there and race for our best for the race and get in that podium.
But that was my next question. That do you race against yourself,
And
or do you?
yeah, getting the championship right and just racing the championship mode. If you look at my career, I haven't really got a championship medal in the past 4 years or so. I've always been the world number one fastest guy, but not really getting to the championship level of it. It's that I'm injured or something happens. So we just trying to avoid having all that, not going too much chasing the times this year, just focus on be ready for race championship and getting the work done when it's really needed to be done.
You have always competed with crowd. In 2021, we don't know if you guys gonna have crowd. So your expectation on that.
That's why I really have to put as I'm working on myself to be real connected with myself externally, internally, and be there and avoid all external things. Once I'm connected to myself internally, then I can just get into the race and do what I have to do, despite what is around, what is not around. So that's what we're practicing, getting ourselves ready for, and just be like, it's a different world out there this year, but then the show have to go on, but the show have to go on what's really needed, and that's what we're working to be more internal and be able to control your feelings and be able to go around it very well.
Mm, mm, mm. So when we talk about your rivals, I think in the past your rival was your biggest rival was Rudisha. Is he still your biggest rival?
I think in the sport there's always a rival. It's different. Every race is different. Every game, there's always a new kid on the block. When I go to London 2012 Olympics, no one knew about me, and then I was there in the podium. So it's like you just getting ready for whatever happens. And my biggest rival is myself now. As I grow up, I learned to say no. I've never really maybe given myself a big chance. I've never really given myself 100% chance to be able to deliver the best I could. So going to these Olympics, I said to my coach, I just want to give myself a chance. I just want to be in a good position and not just do what I have to do. If I set myself to go for it, I'm going to go for that without any external thinking about anything. So
That's good.
I'm
That's
just
good.
of a chance really to be good at what I'm doing. It doesn't worry about the external stuff.
Okay, no, that's good. I think No, I think that's the right mindset. Because but I know that if I pick up the phone right now and call Rudisha, and he's going to tell me, you know what, my biggest threat right now is Nigel. you so
Eh, um,
so why do you think the Kenyans guys always do well when it comes to long distance? Have you taken any page from them?
No, I think it's just the basic. I think for me, when I went to Kenya, I learned that it's probably just the basic of knowledge and understanding of life. If you're around people who are progressing, positive people, mind, who are always winning, the culture of winning, the culture of being good at something, you get inducted in the culture. So of course, I think Kenyans they've been good with that. They've been having the culture of being good in those races. So if the kids growing up in the area, they're being inducted in the culture at a young age, that they need to continue the batting and everything. And definitely maybe the the altitude helps for them, but it's building that culture around the culture of winning, the culture of producing heroes. That's one thing that we need to have in our country. Building that platform of the culture of it, the frequency, the exchange button. We need to build that and not only have athlete that comes once in a while and are gone for years. We need to produce that consistency, and that way will help us to develop and really put a good positive mindset into the youngsters.
What one thing that I like about sport is that everybody comes together.
Yeah.
All races come together. So what do you learn from humanity? When you are around black people, when you're around white folks, when you're around brown folks.
We're equal. When it comes to sports, sports
Mhm.
makes us equal, makes us forget about all those things and just be there. My man. As I look into this Olympics, I'm most excited and happy that I'll be part of the Olympics that will be bringing the world first time together ever since the pandemic. The whole world will be like, this will be the first biggest sporting event ever since pandemic. So the whole world will be watching, glue all together. There will be like kind of sort of healing. In the sport, it's all about. We know it takes something for someone to achieve something to be that great, despite the color, anything in the sport. You need to be putting on the work. So we respect but we respect the work that one is putting on. That's something that I hope we could put into the real life and say we respect your journey, we respect you taking steps, we respecting you being present as a person there. So, and if you look at it for me, I got lucky. I went to South Africa. I was working down there with different group, and I've been into different group here in USA too. I've met people from different countries. Our group is made out of about 7 countries so far, and I get to learn all the cultures every day. I get to learn how people think, how people they do our country, and that's really fascinating for me. It's something that
Mhm.
I'm taking on to be as someone who I really get into the humanitarian world and really help back home. It's inspiring and giving me that boost.
Mm. So we tell our kids that dreams don't mean anything if you just talk about them.
You
You know.
act action. And the sport is all about action. There's so much. The sport is fun. Someone say to me, what's good about it? I have this friend of mine. His father is good. He's good. He made it life and was rich. He said to me, there's one thing in life, Nigel, that I admire most about it. He said, what? He said, no one ever tell you achieve this and this because of your father. Because your father couldn't put all the work in the sports for you. You had to go out and do the work. But for me, no matter what I do, people always like, you got it from your father. So the sports is, you can't put on words. You gotta put on action. You put it on the work. You be respected for the work you're doing. There's no behind. There's no one giving you anything on it. You know.
So what will it mean for a Marobella boy who didn't even start in track and field to win?
Then for me to be a journey fulfilled as an athlete, a task, it will be a dream coming true. It's for me just to get in the podium, not even to win the medal to the Olympic. To get in that podium again, being the second time Olympian, the third time Olympian, win a second medal for my country will be something that really will be huge for me. I'm looking forward to go there and really do well. And this is the first show I'm really going there, halting and excited about it. So it's really, man, I don't know. I can't put it in words how it feel for me to finally get that going, man. And cross that but it's a feeling that I could feel in training. I could feel, see myself. It's good feeling. It's coming.
Right, 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 right. So at this point, what do you want to tell Botswana, man?
No, I mean, it's a moment we're all going through a lot, and as athletes, we're going through a lot too. Keeping on going out there, just keep with us in our prayers and be more nicer to the athlete, more lenient to the athlete. And we learned a lot from Rio, what was going on, the backlashes to the athletes and all those. We're such a small population that we can't afford to destroy each other. We gotta be holding each other hand. When one piece is out, the whole thing is gone. We gotta be holding each other and standing together, going to these Olympics. Let every Motswana be part of the journey, not just wait for the results and say, oh, how did they perform in the Olympics? Oh, let us be part of the journey. Then that way you'll understand it better. You wouldn't be waiting for the result. You'll be knowing what really we went through until we get to the line, So let's all about want to be part of the journey. That's the goes to the commercial, the corporate world and say, listen, be part of the journey. Don't wait and say win gold or give you 1 million. I don't need the 1 million after I win that gold. I'll need the 1 million to prepare and be better and better position. Not even now. It's too late for that now even. I needed that 1 million 4 years ago when you know that there'll be Olympics, want to be part of it, So it's time for us to really rally behind being part of the journey, not just the results.
Well, my brother, I'm not going to take all I think, we got your message. I'm not going to take all your time, So, because if I do that, you're not going to give me time next time for our third interview. So I'm going to stop right here. So your message of hope, my brother.
Message of hope is like keep me alive, man. Appreciate and be grateful, in today's life when me and you be able to talk like this, being on our feet, it's a blessing. There's so much going on in our world. When you still have your breath, you're still breathing, it's a blessing,
Thank you, my brother. All the best, man. All the best. We wish you all the success, man. Like I said before, we are right behind you, man. With lots of love.